Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Assistant Professor Vikash Kataria, and you know that today we have conducted the second day of Red Hat certification training module. We have done first day, and in the first day we have learned how to install a virtual software and Red Hat Linux 8.3. I give you a lot of details about the official website, how to download virtual software and Red Hat Linux 8.3. Now in this session, we will cover some graphical user interface of Red Hat Linux 8.3 and will apply some basic commands and will deal with how to handle user and group created in Red Hat Linux. So very warm good afternoon to everyone. Let's begin the session. So this is the graphical user interface of Red Hat 8.3. In the left panel of Red Hat 3, Red Hat Linux, if you click here, you will see the browser. You will see the Firefox browser, which are inbuilt, and some files and folder options, some software series. Linux also having some list of software built in as Windows contain. Similarly, help menus, then terminal, and some application software. So if you click the Firefox, that is the built-in browser provided by the Linux. So window will appear like this, and you can operate any website like google.com. So Google will appear the home page. That means it is quite easy to access internet by using the Linux. So it is not tough, as we having the tendency that Linux is very tough operating system. We cannot access internet and other resources. So I show you how it is simple to access the Google homepage and surfing any website by using the Linux interface. Now, in the top corner, you have seen a sound which is customized by you, some wired connection which we have already configured our Ethernet. So you can configure Ethernet by clicking the wired Ethernet section. This is the wired setting. And this screen will appear here. If you have a Wi-Fi device, you can connect with the internet. You connect with the Linux machine. If you have a Bluetooth device, you can connect your Bluetooth device by clicking on Bluetooth section. Some background image, as you can set a wallpaper. Similarly, you can set a background in Linux also. Here is the background image, and here is lock screen. So let's change the background. These are some default background provided by the Red Hat Linux. So let's suppose we choose this one. Just double click on any background. It will reflect directly. Some notification sections also there. If you enable the notification, you will get the notification while using the Linux. Similarly, search. If you want to find any files, boxes, calculators, any applications, you can directly search from here. And there are so many options, so we'll not go depth because we are directly use the Linux by using command prompt, and how Linux server manage by using command. That is our motto of this day. So regions and language, we can also select universal access, online accounts. If you have online accounts, you can set from there. Privacy, sharing section, sound section, power, network, everything. So this is the graphical user interface of Red Hat Linux. So it is quite easy as compared to Windows. So as you configure all the things in Windows operating system, similarly you can configure in Linux machine also. Now here is a shutdown and restart button, lock screen option, and some setting option. So this is the setting options. We have discussed already all the sections. And if you want to restart or shut down your machine, click here. It will ask restart or power off. So whatever you intended, you just click on restart and power off. And one section I would like to discuss with you, that is the file. As Windows operating system, you have different folder by default provided by the operating system. That is desktop, documents, download, music, video, pictures, public, templates. Similarly, Linux operating system also provided some default folders. So it looks like a Windows operating system if you observe carefully. Now in other locations, we always talk about the root directory of Linux operating system. Like we have my computer in Windows machine. Similarly, in Linux machine, we have a root directory. And if you click on root directory, that is my computer, you have seen so many directories. But remember, it is the directories which are handled by the root user also, root user only. It cannot be handled by a simple user or limited user or guest user, right? So we will discuss some directories. Like boot directory is a combination of some bootable files. Device directory is the combination of some device driver softwares. etc directory is the combination of some user's name, user's details. It contains some credentials about the login and passwords. Home is the directory which contains so many users which are connected with the Linux machine. As we have already discussed in the first lecture, that Linux operating system is a multi-user operating system. So many users can work simultaneously by using the Linux. So all the details about the users who are currently logged in with the Linux machine can be handled by the home directory. And there are so many folder available, like media, by which we can connect additional hardware devices, some MNT like mount. If you connect some other drive of Windows, then you have to mount that partition with the Linux machine. So you can share your Windows partitions with Linux also. That is the purpose of mount directory, right? And that is the root directory, which will not access by privileged user. It is only used by the root user. So in the same way, there are so many folders which having some significance. So this is all about the graphical user interface. This is the terminal. If you want to access anything by applying the command, so you can apply command by using command interpreter. And some applications, show applications here. Right now we have not installed any applications, so we have find some applications like suppose calculator. So you have to type calculator, it will start searching from the very first letter. So if applications exist, it will show the details of application, and you just double click on that application will appear in front of your monitor. So this is the basic mode of calculator. So installing of any packages, any application software is other things which is done by yum configurations. We will cover in the next upcoming session, because it is itself a big quantity. So in this lecture we will not able to cover the yum configuration. This is the Firefox application. From here you can directly search terminal in this way. So any applications or any packages which we have already installed in Linux machine, we can search by typing the name of application. So this is how the Red Hat Linux 8 will look like, and how we access the applications by putting information in search box, right? So this is about the graphical user interface, how we restart our system, how we access our files and folder, how we open the terminal, and how we configure our Ethernet, restart our Linux machine, shut down our Linux machine, right? Properly set up the sound device and other files and directories. So let's begin our session with command line arguments. So the second topic we have covered, downloading and installing Red Hat Linux, basic commands and operation. That is our fourth point. So first we will discuss the date command. Date means displaying date and time. Linux is server-based operating system. If you want to see the date and time currently running on server, you have to type date command. But the strength of Linux is we cannot type directly date command. It can provide so many parameters which can customize your date command output. And how many parameters are there? We have listed some important parameters in the command section. Like it can be applied by using %m alphabet, which show the current month. %d, it shows current day. %y, it show current year. %D, it will show the date format, MMDDYY. And so many. If you want to display only hours, if you want to display only minute, if you want to display only second, right? So we can use that parameters to customize the output of date command. Now simply if you apply the date command, it will show the output like this. But the question is, can we customize this output? So answer, in Linux operating system, yes, it is possible. We can customize our output. So let's perform first command. Because it is a practical session, so we have to perform everything in practical. So this is our terminal. Okay, terminal shows a lot of information. I will tell you. PGI @ localhost and tilde symbol with square bracket and $sign. So PGI is the account in which we logged in. @localhost is the name of our machine. So by default, every machine have a local host. If we change name, we can change it, but default it is localhost. And tilde symbol, that is the current working directory. Dollar symbol indicates the Borne shell. It is like a command interpreter. So it will take input as a command and provide the display of the output or output of your command here. So that is the purpose of command interpreter. In Linux, which we called it shell, and the dollar prompt is the name of shell Borne. So we are working with actually Borne shell. So first we will perform date command. In simple date command, that is the output of date command, Monday, June 7th, 1522 IST 2021. That is the current time which are currently running on server machine. It will show the date and time currently running on server. It is not time which are currently running in my PC or tablet. It is the time which are currently running on server machine. Now we can use so many parameters. As I told you, date is not a single command. It having so many parameters, and we can customize our output of date command by putting some parameters. Like suppose I want to print only hour. So we have to type like date. Parameter will be associated with plus sign. So plus percentage, and for printing the hours, currently hours, type capital H, then enter. So this is a 15. That means 3 o'clock. In the same way, if we change capital H to capital M, so it will show the current minute 23. So 3 o'clock 23 minute. Similarly, we can print the second. So capital S will show the current second currently on server machine. So 32 second. For displaying the abbreviation of current month, put small m, enter, that is the 6, means June. So this is the way how we can use some parameters by with the date command. And if you want to see how many parameters are there, you have to choose manual command of related command. So manual date. If you enter, it will show the number of parameters associated with the date command. -r, -s, -u. These are some parameters. Locals, abbreviated weekday name. Like suppose we want to print in this way, the third character of current day, SUN, that is Sunday. So small a, capital A for full day, small b, that is month name, abbreviated month name. That means we can customize the date, we can customize the output of date command by using some alphabets, by using some parameters. Now for clear the screen, put clear command and press enter. So this is how date command operated with certain number of parameters. List directory commands. Linux supports multi-user environment. So many users can work directly with the Linux machine. So every user having its own list of files and directories. ls command help us to list out the files and directories which are created by the user by its own user accounts. So ls is just for listing the files and directories details. So ls file also having parameters. We want to display our output by putting small r parameter, which indicates list of files in reverse order. If you want to show the list of files in time based or order of time, we have to put -t parameter. If you want to display all the hidden files, that means sometimes we create files with some special symbols. So it may be started with the underscore, it may be started with a dot symbol, file may be started with double dot symbol. So we can choose any special symbols by creating a file. So ls individual itself not able to detect all the files who are started with a special symbol. But if you want to find out those files which are uh, created by using special symbol, so you can identify those files also. So in order to do this, you have to use parameter -a, ls space -a. Similarly, every files having inode number provided by the Linux kernel, like every student having enrollment number to identify uniquely. Similarly, Linux kernel also provide inode number to every files and directories. So it is called identification number, inode number. So we can find out, we can display the inode number of individual file also. I will show you the practical how I can show the inode number, how we can reverse, how we can print the data, our files in reverse order, in time based. So let's perform the practical with ls command. Now, very first, let's check simple ls command. How many files and directories are there? So it is a fresh account here. Not a single file is exist. Only directories are there. So let's create a file. To create any file in Linux machine, you have to choose cat command. Cat space greater than and name of file. Let's suppose file 1. Enter. Now it is asking about the content of the file, what you want to write in the file. So suppose this is my first Red Hat file. Now enter, and for saving purpose, if you want to save this file, you have to press Ctrl D. So by putting the combination of key Ctrl plus D, the file will save automatically. Now, as I type again ls command, it will show a name of file 1. So this is the management of file. We can manage so many files here. Now, I want to know the detail of that file. So ls space dash l, and the name of file is file 1. So I want to get all the details, all the parameters of file 1. So dash l parameter tells us Linux kernel display the file 1 details in a single line, single row. So line wise detail, if you want to print, that means we have to use dash l parameter. So let's have a look. What is the output? It will show dash rwx, 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 and so many details like 1 space pgi space pgi space 30 space June space 7 space 15:29 space the name of the file, file 1. So it shows lot of information. I will tell you what kind of information it is. The very first symbol is hyphen. It indicates it is ordinary file. It's not a special file. If file 1 is suppose a directory, then it will show D. So by looking the first character or a first symbol, we can identify whether we are accessing the detail about the file or a special file or a directory. If it is to be a special file, then the hyphen will be replaced by small p. If it is to be a directory, then the first character will be indicate D. I will show you ls-l. It will show the entire file and directory detail in a line wise. So as you can see, some directories having the first parameter D, it will show we are talking about the directories, and some showing the information hyphen, that means it is ordinary file. Now every files and directory having accessing mode, we know that Linux is secure more than Windows machine. Now how it provides the security, I will take at a glance here. RWX, RWX and RWX. This is the third slot. For first, RWX means it is the permission of owner. R means read permission, W means write permission, X means execute permission. So RWX for owner, RWX for other, sorry, group, and RWX for other. Right? So owner can read, write, execute to the file. Group can only read and execute to the file. It will not write because here is not any symbol W. So the missing of symbol indicate user are not able to do that kind of things. And the other having only read and execute permission, it will not able to write anything on the file. So this is the access permission, we can say. Now, if you are a root user, you are the owner of your files and directories. You can put your own access code to your machine, to your files and directories. You can change mode or access permission of files and directories, right? So you just give the permission how other can access your file directories and group can access your files and directories. So this can be changed by using the change mode command. The second parameter tells us it is having link account. Second is the root user. Next one is account in which the user can log in. So our login account is also PGI and root account also PGI. Two is their linking count. How many desktops we can have? 6 May, that is the date, month, and this is the time. So each files and directories can have so many information. I show you what is the meaning of that alphabet. Now similarly, if we want to print all those files which start with a dot or double dot or any special symbol, you can choose -a parameter. Now you can observe the small ls command, the output of simple ls command and output of ls-a. So there are some difference. Simple ls command will not pick up the file who's started with dot and double dot, but ls-a display all those files who's starting with dot and double dot or any special symbol or special character. Let's create another file. Suppose A1. This is my second file. Now save it by putting Ctrl+D. Now let's perform ls command again. Here we have two files, A1 and file 1. Let's arrange our files in ascending order. ls-r. So capital R indicates ascending order, start from A, and a small r will show in descending order. So our file will show at the last. In the same way, if you have thousands of files and if you want to arrange your files with certain order, ascending or descending, you can choose a single parameter, small r and capital R. Let's clear the screen again. This is all about ls command, which is used to manage our files and directories. Now the next command is who, that is who command, who tells us who is logged on your machine. As I told you, Linux operating system is multi-user operating system. Multiple user can interact with the operating system. So we want to know how many users are logged in. So in order to achieve this kind of task, we have to perform who command. The syntax of who command is $who. Now who command also having some parameters. We can boot time of loss system, capital H, heading print line of column headings, Q, count all login names and number of users logged on, dash S, short print only name, terminal name and time, dash U, users list, that users logged in. So these are some options which may be associated with who command. Let's perform with parameters. First, we will apply a simple who command. So currently, I am the person and I'm a single person who are using the Linux machine. So here only single detail will show. But if there are so many users who are currently connected with the local area network and using the server, then it will show the number of detail of users. So here, let's discuss the details of who command. Now first is PGI, that is the user account who are currently logged in. TTY2, that is the name of terminal. TTY is the terminal name and 2 is the name of a number of terminal which are generated by the kernel and provided to the terminal. 2021, that is the date and time. So here, three details we have seen: user account, name of terminal, terminal number, and date and time. Who can be applied by using dash B parameter. It will show me the boot time of last system boot. Similarly, .h, it will show the attribute or column headings. This is the name of user account. This is the line number. That means every terminal and its number called line number. That is the time and this is the comment. So if you want to print the heading of every users, you have to type who command with -h parameter. Similarly, -q, count all login names and number of users logged in. So only single users are logged. Single user is logged, so users is equal to 1. If there are suppose 15 users logged in, so it will show the list of users detail and it will count how many users are connected with the Linux machine. So if you want to count how many users are connected and using Linux server, by putting -q parameter, you can get the detail. And similarly, who space -u, it will show the same detail. Now let's clear the screen. This is all about who command. Now next is calendar. Calendar command it display the month and year. It will show the calendar of given month and year. Suppose, for example, if you want to print 10 month of calendar 2021, so we have to give the parameter in this way. So calendar command having two parameters: first month, second year. And there are some limitations. Month parameter can be vary from 1 to 12. If you put another except 1 to 12, it will consider as a invalid month. Similarly, year, the display calendar of year from 1 to 9999. So there are limitations. You have to put parameter by certain criteria. So let's print the calendar. CAL for calendar command. Remember, it is a case sensitive. Every command is case sensitive. So you have to simply put a small letter, right? You cannot put by capital letter. So small cal space. I want to show the 6th month, that is June, and 2021. So it is current year 2021 having 12 different months, but I want to show the calendar of 6 months. Now after pressing enter, it will show that is today is 7th, Monday 2021. Now I can see the whole 2021 calendar. So just by putting the year column, it will show the 12 month of calendar. So this is about the calendar command. Now clear the screen. Next is process command, that is PS. It will show all the processes running on the system. So this is one kind of process management. How Linux handles so many processes and how it get detail regarding each and every process. So by again putting some parameters, it can access a particular process, it can kill particular process, it can suspend a particular process. And in operating system, we know that every process having different states. So in which state it is belonging, we can find out by using PS command. So this is the detail about PS command. It will show the list of all process currently running on the system. Output of PS command is shown here. First column is PID, that is process ID. Here ID is required because each and every user can have number of process. So every process having its unique number. It's called process ID. Now TTY is the terminal, time, that is CPU time, and CMD, that is the name of process associated with the process. So it will give the details of all the process including user ID. So if you want to get the details how the process are running by a single user ID or a user, you have to put -f parameter. So PS space -f, it will give the detail of process including user ID. Similarly, along with process ID and per process parent process ID, that is PPID and PID, you have to press -A. So these are 2 or 3 parameters which are very required or which are very essential to get the details about the process. So let's perform by practical PS command. Now simple, if you put PS command, you will see how many processes running on the system. These are the PID, that is process ID, TTY, terminal, name of terminal on which the process is running, time, there is no time is showing here, and command is bash, manual, less, cat, ps. So these are the process which are currently running on my system. I have run manual command also, that is why this process comes into the picture. Less is default process. Cat, I am using cat command for creating a file, so that is why this process comes into the RAM. And right now we have run a PS command, so this process comes into the RAM. So every process having its unique ID is called process ID. Every process to run, it's required a terminal name or terminal number. Bash is Born Again shell. B stand for Born, A stand for again, SH stand for shell. I told you that when we start using the Linux machine, I request server that please give me a terminal so that I can put the command. So kernel designed a Born shell for me and provided in the form of $prompt. So that command is nothing, just a Born shell. All right. So it is again a process because $prompt is currently running. So Born is the process, manual is the process, less, cat, ps is different processes. Now ps command can be accessed some extra detail by putting some parameters. -f, it will show the details of user ID also, process ID, parent process ID, count, systematic time, terminal name and number, and the title or comment, means which the commands which we are talking about. Bash, manual, date, less, cat, whatever it is. So these are the output of PS command with parameter -f. Similarly, capital A, it will show the entire process currently running on system by kernel and user. So as you can see, there are so many processes currently running on my Linux machine, but there are difference between small f and capital A parameter. Small f parameter only tells us only those processes about currently logged user, but capital A parameter tells us all the process which are currently by user and kernel as well. So it is only user oriented process. User created bash, date, man, less, cat and ps. But kernel, apart from these 5 processes, kernel can have number of processes because Linux server is currently running in the background. So this is the difference between capital A and small f. So small f show only those processes which are running by the user, but capital A option shows entire process which are currently used by user and kernel. Now let's clear the command, clear the screen. Now the next command is word count command. Suppose we want to read or we want to count how many words in my file, how many lines in my file, and how many characters in the file. So in order to achieve this, we want to find total number of words, total number of lines, total number of characters in each file. So this is done by using word count command, that is WC. So again, it is taking some parameters, and this is the strength of Linux. Every command having number of parameters which is used to manage the files and our data also. So output of WC command is, let's perform practical. First we will check how many files we have. We have only two files, A1 and file 1. So WC space A1. First of all, we want to get the details about how many characters, how many words, how many lines are there. So if we not use any parameter, so it will show everything. There is only single line, there are only 5 words and total 23 characters, and that is the name of file. Again I am repeating, total number of line 1, total number of word 5, total number of character 23, and the name of file which we are talking about is A1. Now I want to get detail very specific, like suppose tell me the total number of character. So you have to press C, WC space dash C and A1. So it will show the total number of character of file A1, that is 23. Let's show the file cat A1. Now there is some variation. Cat greater than A1, it is used to create a new file. But if you remove the greater symbol, it will show the content of file. So this is the content of my file. This is my second file. Now if you count the character 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So here 23 total number of characters. Now, how many words are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's get the details. WC dash W for getting the total number of words for a related file A1, that is A1 file. So it will show 5 A1. It shows that A1 file contain total number of word 5. Similarly, you can operate WC command to get total number of lines in a file. So for getting the line detail, you have to use parameter -L. So in A1 file, we have only single line. As you can see, this is only a single line, single record in A1 file. So this is how a WC command works. So these are some options. -C for getting the byte, print the byte counts, or character counts, because byte is nothing, it is a combination of 8 bit. We can consider a single character 2 byte also. So byte and character as good as same. Small m, character print the character counts. -L, lines print the new lines count. dash capital L, maximum line length, print the length of the longest line. W, words, print the words count. These are the parameters which will be associated with the WC command, and I told you in a practical manner how WC commands run. This is the cat command. By using cat command, we can create a new file, and we have already discussed how a new file is created. And for saving the content of the file, we have to use Ctrl+D. Now here we have to learn one more things. If you want to redirect the content of a file to another content, right? That is, copy my file content to the test file. There are two things possible. If you want to redirect the output of my file to the test file, but you don't want to keep that content of test file. So this is redirection, but this is append. If you use a single direction, single greater than symbol, the data will be redirected from my file to test file. But remember, the content of test file will be removed, and the content of my file will be forwarded to the test file. But if you want to append your content, that means you have to use double greater than symbol, right? So this is to be understand. Let's perform the practical. Cat. First, I will show you. We have already created two files, cat A1. This is the content of A1 file, and this is the content of file. This is the content of file 1. Now I want to add these content in this file. So cat A1 greater than file 1. So this is the redirection of data or content. So file 1 will remove the data. This is the successfully termination of our command. Now, if we see the content of file 1, what you will see, this is the content of file A1. This is my second line. And if we print the content of file 1, the same content will be there. That means the existence content deleted from file 1 and the new content, that is the content of A1, will be redirected in file 1. But if you use the double greater than, that means this kind of the content will not deleted from the file 1 and it will be append to the file 1. So just remember, for deleting purpose use a single greater than, for appending purpose use double greater than. So this is about a cat file. Now this is the next command, uname. Uname shows us the username, currently the name of user which are currently logged in the system. Print all the information in the following order: -a, -s, -n. So what kind of information we want from system? That is, suppose we want to name only kernel, we have to put -s. -n, node name, it will print the node name, or you can say host name. It will look like pgi.org. That is, our host name is pgi.org. So if you put uname space -n, it will return pgi.org. Similarly, if you want to display the name of kernel, it will show Linux. So due to the lack of time, I am not running this command in practical. You just understand and you familiar how we use the command and how we associate the parameters with the command. Now you are able to run by its own. So dash p, it will show the kernel version. We have taken one example, that is the kernel version. If you put dash m, it will show the machine, print the machine hardware name like i686, 386, whatever it is. Suppose we want to type the processor detail, you have to use uname space dash p. So these are various options which may be attached with the uname command. Now second is path name, path command. Every user having its own way of executing the command. It can change directory and directories. So we want to know where the current user exists. So pwd is the command. It will display the current working directory of a user. Make directory, it will show, it will create a new directory by putting mkdir space book. So here the new directory is book created by mkdir. Now remove directory, that is rmdir. So if you give the name of directory, it will remove. But remember, the directory should be empty. So if it is not empty, you should empty first by putting rm command. That means if you want to delete files from the directory, you have to use rm command. Once it is cleared, once it is empty, then remove that empty directory by using rmdir. Similarly, cd for change directory. Let's suppose pgimca is the directory. We want to change. So cd space pgimca. So these are some commands which are already you have done in DOS prompt also. So pwd is new here. So let's perform pwd so that you can understand how user will be traced, where it is exist. So that is the output of pwd, where I am currently exist in my Linux machine. So I am exist on root, then inside the root there is a home directory. Inside the home there is a user account named PGI, and I am the user who are logged with PGI account. So it will show the current path. Suppose I change the directory. Let's suppose I go in the desktop. Let's make a directory mkdir. Suppose d1 is the name of directory. Let's check it. D1 is created or not. This is the directory D1 already created. So let's move cd D1. Yes, we have successfully moved from current working directory to D1. Now let's take pwd. Now this will shows the different path. In previously, it will show root, then home, then PGI. Now, right now it is showing root followed by home, followed by PGI, followed by D1, because we have changed the directory from PGI to D1. So in the same way, if user moves somewhere else, because Linux having a very huge hierarchy of files and directories, it can take some files from other locations, it will copy some files from other location and paste somewhere some other locations, right? So in this way, we have to trace the users by using pwd command. And that is the significance of pwd. If we know our current position, we can copy and we can paste our files and folders from one location to other location. cd space double dot, it will switch you from current node to parent, current directory to parent directory. So our current directory was D1, but now the parent directory of D1 is tilt, that is PGI. So we switched our directory from current to parent. So this is all about path, that is pwd command, make directory, mkdir command, rmdir, and change directory. Copy command and remove command, it is the same structure, having DOS prompt, cp space source file and destination file. You can apply by using this format. Remove command, rm and the name of file. Let's remove the file. Rm, suppose file 1 I want to remove. Successfully removed. If you check the details whether it is removed or not, yes, there is no file 1 exists. So in this way you can remove the file. Let's clear the screen. Change permission, as I told you, we can change the permission of files. Default permission is 644, default directory permission is 755, and the command by which you can change the mode, change the accessing mode of file is chmod. But you should be a root user. A privileged user or a limited user cannot access or change the access permission of a file. I will show you. Suppose I want to give a full permission of my file. Let's check it first. How many files we have? We have only single file, ls-l a1. This is the permission of my file, rw, and r. Owner can read and write my file. Group can read and write my file, and other can only read the file. So change mode 777 A1. So we have completely changed the permission. So let's check ls-l. Now you can see if we change the permission of any files, the color will be different and the permission will be appear here. RWX, read, write, execute. Read, write, execute for owner, sorry, for group, and read, write, execute for other. We have full permissions. So here we have to keep some points in mind. We have assigned a 7 number, that is 4 plus 2 plus 1. 4 for read permission, 2 for write permission, and 1 for execute permission. So for owner we have assigned 7, for group we have assigned 7, and for other we have assigned 7. So 7 itself having full permission, read, write, execute. So this is all about permission, chmod command. Now the last point, managing local user and group. We know that we can create number of users and group in Linux machine. By creating a single user, the syntax of creating user is user add space PGI. To see detail about new users, cat root followed by etc followed by password. This is the path where user details exist. So let's first create the user. Let's clear the command. For creating a new user, user add, suppose PGI 1. Oh, permission denied. A privileged user cannot add a new user or create a new user. You have to be a root user in order to create a user. So password. Now I switched my account from local user to administrator, and this symbol shows us in previously I was a privileged user, limited user, but right now there is a hash symbol which indicates I am an administrator user. Now I am able to change, I am able to create a new user. User add PGI 1. Now user is created successfully. Now if you want to see the detail of users, cat root etc password. This is the path where previous user and new user listed. So if you enter in the last, you can see this is our new user detail. So in this way, you can create a user and you can get the details of existence users. Let's clear the terminal. Okay, we have just created a new user, but we are not created any password. So let's create the password by putting password command, password for PGI1. Changing password for user PGI1, it will asking to a new password. Retype. So all authentication token updated successfully. We have given a password to my account. New users. So here is the details of user account PGI1. So this is how we create a user and create a password. Now the last point is how to create a user. Oh, sorry, how to create a group. So as you add by user add, you can create a group by tells us user group. So group add to create a new group. So it is quite simple. If you are able to create or add a new user by user add command, you can create a new group by group add command. Similarly, user delete PGI, it will delete the user. And if you want to see the details about the deleted user, that means you can follow this command cat space /etc/password. So user delete for deleting the user, user add for adding the user. Similarly, groups add for adding group and group delete for deleting the groups. So it was the all about today's content. So we have conducted only 2 days workshop for you guys, and it is partial training module of Red Hat Certified System Administrator exam for 200. I hope you enjoy with it. Thank you so much. In the next incoming days, I will try to put some more modules which are related to Red Hat Linux. So thank you so much. So stay here and being with me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable insights. And thank you, all of you, for joining us on today's webinar. We have created a Google link form for feedback. Do submit it within the 2 days and we'll send you the certificate within the next 10 working days. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed and thank you so much for joining us. It was pleasure being with you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.